America is once again facing a political earthquake. Calls are growing inside Washington to remove Donald Trump from office. Not through an election, not through a campaign, but through one of the most powerful and controversial sections of the United States Constitution. The growing movement among some lawmakers and critics who say President Trump should be removed from office. And the constitutional tool they're discussing to make it happen. Report shows that some Democrats and political commentators have openly discussed invoking the 25th Amendment or pursuing impeachment following Trump's controversial statements regarding Iran and national security.
Yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything.
Some lawmakers are now talking about the 25th Amendment. Others are demanding impeachment. But what exactly is this constitutional section, and why are they trying to evoke it? Who is leading the charge, and has it ever been used before against a sitting president? We're going to talk about all this on World Daily. We break down the political shaking storms America once again, and let's dive into it. Okay, the name Donald Trump has always divided America. To his supporters, he is a fighter, a president who refuses to bow to the political establishment. To his critics, he is dangerous, unpredictable, and unfit for the office. Now, following controversial remarks linked to Iran and escalating global tension, some politicians and commentators are openly discussing removing Trump from office before his term ends. The two major constitutional paths being discussed here are impeachment, the 25th Amendment, and tonight and today we will explain both in simple terms. Now, what is the 25th Amendment? We're going to talk about it and you understand why they've been invoking it. The section many are talking about is called the 25th Amendment to the United States Constitution, and it was ratified in 1967 after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The amendment was designed to answer one major question. And the question is, what happens if a president becomes unable to perform the duties of office? The most controversial part of Section 4, right? So, Amendment Section, 25th Amendment Section, the Vice President plus majority of Cabinet right now declare President unable to serve. Under Section 4, the Vice President and a majority of the President's Cabinet can declare that the President is unable to carry out duties of office. If that happens, the President immediately becomes acting President, just like what we have during Biden and during Kamala's case, right? In Trump's case, that would mean Vice President J.D. Vance would take over temporarily if the amendment was successfully evoked. But there is a major catch here, and I want you to know about it. Trump could challenge the decision. The Congress would have to vote, and it will require a two-thirds majority in both chambers to permanently remove him. That makes it extremely difficult politically. So let's continue. Why are they talking about it now? Why is it so hard in the Senate and the Congress? The latest controversy exploded after Trump made various statements connected to Iran. Some lawmakers claim the language was reckless and dangerous.
What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
You didn't let me ask my question.
You've been asking a question for 10 minutes. So please sit down.
The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now,
you're so disgraceful.
Unemployed.
It's so disgraceful the way you say that. Look. You know you're a fake. You know that your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake. And most of you, and not all of you, But the people are wise to you. That's why you have a lower approval rating than you've ever had before.
Critics argued it showed instability or unfitness for the office. More than 70 Democratic lawmakers reportedly discussed invoking the 25th Amendment. One of the loudest voices has been Congressman John Larson, saying, and he introduced the article of impeachment and also called on Trump's cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. They say Trump is now fit. Connecticut's public has this much discourse. According to Larson, Trump's rhetoric and actions regarding Iran represented what he called a threat to national security and constitutional order. Congressman John Larson and other lawmakers, including Jamie Rexine, also discussed constitutional options available to Congress. And this is very critical. And meanwhile, critics of the removal effort argue this is political warfare, not constitutional necessity. Trump supporters says this is another attempt by Washington insiders to stop Trump because they fear his influence and popularity. And that's why the country remains deeply divided. Let's talk about the impeachment versus the 25th Amendment, and you're going to understand what it's all about. Many people confuse impeachment with the 25th Amendment, and I want to discuss it for you, but both are very different. Impeachment is essentially a political and legal accusation process. The House of Representatives votes on charges against the president. Then the Senate conducts a trial. A president can be impeached for high crime, abuse of power, obstruction, constitutional violations. Trump was impeached twice during his first presidency. You wonder why he's still in office. So why is he still in office? All right. House votes and the first impeachment involved allegations tied to Ukraine in 2019, and a second after the June 6 Capitol riot in 2021. So he's been impeached twice, but he's still in office. But in both cases, Trump was acquitted by the Senate and remained in office. The 25th Amendment is different. It is not about crimes, it's about presidential capacity, whether a president is mentally or physically able to perform the job. That is the amendment, and that is what they're calling on. Has the 25th Amendment ever been used before in Trump? On Trump, let's talk about it. Yes, but not in the way many people think. Section 3 of the 25th Amendment has been used several times voluntarily when presidents underwent medical procedures. For example, President George Bush temporarily transferred power during his tenure during coloscopics, and President Joe Biden also temporarily transferred power during a medical procedure in 2021, right? So it has always been used. 25th Amendment has always been used, but Section 4, the involuntary removal part, has never successfully been used against a sitting president, not once in American history. There were discussions about using it, then this using was after the assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan, during concerns over the president Richard Nixon during Watergate, and heavily during Trump's first term, January 6, 2021. It's been used, but it has never crossed the finish line. Why this story matters at this moment, you need to know, because the story matters because it reveals something deeper happening in America. The political divide is no longer normal disagreement. It has become a battle over the future direction of the country itself. One side believes Trump is defending America against political elites, global pressure, and establishment controls. The other side believes Trump represents a danger to democratic institutions and global security. And when conversations move from elections to removal, the impeachment to constitutional emergency powers, one thing is certain, it shows just one intense American politics has become. How intense, American politics has become. Now, so can Trump actually be removed through the 25th Amendment? Let me tell you. Technically, yes. Politically, it would be incredibly difficult. The vice president and cabinet would have to turn against him. Congress would need overwhelming votes, and Trump still maintains strong support inside Republican Party. So it's almost impossible. As far as impeachment, America has already seen that road twice before. But one thing is clear, and let me let you know that Donald Trump continues to dominate American politics like few presidents in modern history. Whether people support him or oppose him, he remains at the center of the storm. And as our 2026 political battles intensify, the fight over Trump's presidency may only be beginning. Well, if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Word Daily, like this video, turn on notifications for more deep political analysis and global stories. See you again in my next one.